I want to thank you for joining us this evening as we bring Pontius Pilate into our midst. Pontius Pilate faced crossroads. And these crossroads are truly for all of us. We meet them practically every day of our lives. You see, it's easy to walk in the sunshine, enjoying the coolness of the air, or maybe even a fresh spring rain. And then comes the crossroads. Do we turn left or turn right? Do we help someone or don't we help someone? Do we say the kind word or hold it back? Do we say an angry word because they seem to deserve it or not? Sometimes we act, and sometimes we're frozen to the spot. What weighs down each of these choices? Which way does your heart call you? Which way makes sense? Which way is God's way? Some answers are easy, some not so easy, and some can bring daunting spiritual pain. Some of them can bring you to your knees, and some to the point of destruction. I suppose there are times when we feel like we're put in a no-win situation. The Pharisees, the elders, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, they did this to Jesus time and time again. Tonight, we have an expert in the dealings of crossroads, the roads of judgment, of choosing, of choice. And he made a choice that is now notorious. His name echoes through the ages. His name is Pontius Pilate. I'd like to welcome Pontius Pilate to our midst this evening as we hear what he has to say in regards to the choices and the crossroads that he's come. Welcome. Pontius Pilate, I welcome you, and I want to say that we are truly honored to have you with us.
You should be honored. I am a man of authority, and I presume that you called me forth to ask me some questions about a most historical judgment that was made. And so I have brought with me my original decree of judgment for reference as needed.
Thank you. Please take a seat. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about this authority that you seem to have or have been given?
First of all, I'm used to be treated with some deference. Okay? And you may address me as such. I was governor of Judea for many years, appointed by Caesar. And I must say I was most successful in those years.
Well, if that's true, if you've been so successful, then why has your name become a symbol of weakness and dishonor, especially among Christians?
It was because of that trouble with the trial of that Jesus. I was put in an impossible position. I had no choice.
No choice? Well, the way we've read the story, there are several points of choice, or crossroads, if you will, during the time of Jesus' trial, many that were right before you.
So it all appears easy to you when you look back at what happened. I was there. I was the one that had to make the decision, the choices. I did what had to be done.
What had to be done? Had to be done. Did you have to release the killer Barabbas? I mean, was anyone forcing you to make such a strange choice?
Strange? To you, perhaps, but necessary for me. I was trying to find a way to release Jesus without causing trouble with the religious leaders, those devious and dangerous troublemakers who brought Jesus to me in the first place. I knew what they were doing. They were trying to make me do their dirty work. They hated that Jesus. He stood up to them, condemned them to their faces, and threatened their places of authority and their cash flow.
Well, then why bother with Barabbas? I mean, you could have made the choice to release Jesus. You had the power.
And have them run to the emperor with the sword? Have them attack me behind my back and threaten my place? To be truthful, they'd already complained before, and I had a short leash from the emperor. I had to think of my place, my future. I couldn't risk my position in their hands.
Well, it looks like your move of self-preservation, looking out for yourselves, is the choice you made. But even your wife warned you about condemning Jesus.
My wife, what does she know? You don't understand the position I was in. Sure, I was at a crossroads, but the choosing wasn't really open to me. What was I supposed to do? Go against common sense? Risk my future by releasing Jesus just because I thought he was innocent?
Well, some of us might call that faith. I mean, wouldn't that have been the right thing to do?
You all use judgment. Look at yourselves. How many times have you made a choice that made life easy for you, even though you knew it was not the best choice or the right choice?
You're comparing us to you?
I certainly am. There are those who run others down to make themselves look better. What about the businessman who cheats on his taxes? What about the woman who tells gossip stories and hurts other people? What about the youth who tries drugs because of peer pressure? Sure, they have pressures. They have to do what they think is right for them at the moment. Of course, a little shading and lying doesn't hurt.
Is that really the same as your choice?
Of course it is. And there are those rundowners, as I said, to make themselves look better. Well, you know as well I do what the sins are. You know what they are. What about them? Are they better than me?
Well, I guess if we are faithful to Jesus' call to complete perfection, we have to admit that we are with you in the bad choices that we make. We stand convicted.
And you have a way out. I had to live and die for my bad choice. You don't. The same Jesus who stood innocent before me is the same Jesus who went to the cross because of my choosing, the same Jesus who rose to give you life. He offers you forgiveness for the failed choices you have made, for the pain your choices may have caused. You are forgiven, a gift that I didn't have. You are forgiven and free in Jesus.
Well, you said that better than I think any of us could. We are forgiven and free. We are made new by God each and every day. And we know if we confess our sins, He will be faithful and just and will forgive our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. We can rejoice.
And I envy you in that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being with us today and for reminding us of the gift of hope that we all do have. You've heard it said that there's a right way and there's a wrong way. Left or right, crossroads, road divided, fork in the road. There's always the right way and the wrong way. But people over and over, they try to find the middle way. They try to find some kind of a gray area where they can do that. But don't be fooled. Don't be fooled and say you can wash your hands and be innocent of the blood of the Lamb, of this man. Half-truths are still alive. A choice other than right is a choice that is wrong, that it's sin. Pilate envies us because we stand forgiven. And we continue to live our lives with the opportunity to be forgiven over and over again for the one time that Christ died on the cross to forgive all sins. He's our refuge. He's the refuge of the weary. He's Jesus. Let's sing that song.